There's been some information that's been going around about two pretty neat exclusives, and I think we need to set the record straight on these. So let's have a quick conversation. Dragon Ball, horror, kaiju, and more. Steven's Toy Reviews. Hey there, collectors, it's going to be Steven here, and I'm here to talk about some exclusives because when it comes to collectibles and making sure information is very well shared, for better or worse, sometimes the incorrect information does get out there, and sometimes misinformation can spread, or hopes can be set up real high when honestly they really honestly should be cut off at the knees, because if something changes, then it gets good. So what are we talking about today? Well, Hiya recently announced a translucent burning Godzilla 2019 that comes with some battle-damaged Ghidorah necks, and Tamashi Nations announced a Spitfire Heat Ray Atomic Blast version of Godzilla -1 that comes with the little fighter jet. The one that looks like it flies backwards. I thought the design was pretty cool. Anyway, so what's prompting this video? What are we going to talk about today? Well, what I will say is not necessarily misinformation getting out there, but it does seem like there is some confusion based on what is seen. And unfortunately, game of telephone is all too commonplace in this fandom of collecting in general. So with these two repaints, these two exclusives that have come out, I want to make sure that you have the information that you need, so this way you're at least prepared if something good should come of it. So first, let's go ahead and talk about the Hiya Burning Godzilla exclusive. So when this was first announced, just in general, it was announced that Hiya was making this with King Ghidorah battle damaged necks, okay? Mostly for the gravity beam repaint. Now, we recently received information that they had a sales method. The issue with this is, yesterday, at the time of recording, I'm not going to name names because I do believe this is going to be a smaller creator, and you know, just a little bit of an issue because I really think it came to a fact of people jumping the gun, reading what was posted, than anything else. But nevertheless, it was really homing in on the point that I guess, yes, objectively, period, end of discussion, the translucent burning Godzilla is going to be a Wonder Festival Wonfes Shanghai exclusive. However, if you look at the information that is presented both by the official Weibo of Wonfes and Hiya, what they make mention of is that pre-sales will occur at Wonfes Shanghai. And then as well, it is going to be limited sales at Wonfes Shanghai at the floor. So what does this mean? Well, when it comes to Wonfes, just in general, not specifically this particular event, but in general, it is very common practice for companies to open orders at the event, okay, and then later on they will open orders for everyone or multiple customers. So you're going to have companies like Good Smile Company, Kyoto, Medicom, Medicos, a whole bunch of different companies that are going to have Wonfes exclusives, Figma, Super Action Statue, model kits. You're going to have vinyl toys that are going to have them either available on site or they're going to take orders there, and then they're going to open orders later for however many units they have left. So basically, they're going to allow first come, first serve at Wonfes, and then whatever they have left over from the production run that they have, they'll open the floodgates for non-attendees. So based on what is precedent for other companies, because Hiya, I don't know if they've done Wonfes exclusives before, that may very well be what they're doing here. So what I am under the impression of is that they're going to take orders on the show floor, and then later they will have orders at some point, because that's what they basically are saying. Orders limited at show floor, more to be determined. What I would say is keep your hopes up, We have no confirmation of any further retail release. We have no further confirmation of any other means of distribution. It's just something you're going to want to keep your eye on. I wouldn't get hopes super high. Maybe you're going to have to pay more than the average release. Maybe it'll have a retail variant at some point in the future. But nevertheless, don't get worried that you're going to have to take a plane, go to Shanghai, and make a purchase for a dinosaur toy. Okay? All right, so that is the Burning Godzilla figure in a nutshell. At this time, we have no confirmation that this is only going to be on the show floor. That's the only way you're going to get it. They've only talked about sales, pre-sales being there. Godzilla -1, the SH MonsterArts Tamashi Nations. So, earlier this year, in July, there is a Godzilla app. Yeah, an actual Godzilla app for Japanese citizens, where it wasn't a leak, which that's a whole other video. Don't worry about leaks. You don't have to worry about pulling anything down. The Heat Ray Godzilla -1 SH MonsterArts figure was announced as a Tamashi Nation 2024 exclusive. Wonderful. Actually a little bit more expensive. I think it's about 3,000 yen more, and folks immediately were looking for answers for how they could purchase it. Tamashi Nation 2024 exclusive. Every year, Tamashi Nations holds an event, aptly called Tamashi Nation, that is going to be in November-ish, usually towards the end of, where that's where we get a whole bunch of new reveals. If you check out my Tamashi Nations video related to SH MonsterArts 10 Years of Destruction, I go over some of the reveals that have happened throughout the years related to the SH MonsterArts line. And during these events, they do have a whole host of exclusives that are available. They've done some for Kamen Rider pretty much every year. They've done Sailor Moon, Mega Man, Ultraman. Well, it hasn't happened before, but it is now Godzilla's turn to have an exclusive there. Now, the previous mentality has been the United States has San Diego Comic-Con. Japan has Tamashi Nation. So with that, right off the bat, what are the hopes that we're going to get this? Well, there have been some who have said that this particular source that's unofficial has said that it's TBA. This one says it's TBD. This one says that this one is a third-party source to this, and it's a mistranslation. So, Tamashi Nation releases are exclusive only to that event, except in recent years, they have gotten better with this, and they do. And this is what the community, the kaiju collecting community, has picked up and ran with: lottery sales. So what that means is there are folks who are able to put in an application to be in a lottery pool. Then if your number gets picked, you don't get it for free. You can then purchase. You have to enter into the lottery for a chance to win to buy the figure. The way that they did it this year for all of the exclusives, it was horrible. It's confusing even for the Japanese residents who are looking to get this figure, which you're only going to be able to get because Bandai in total, for the premium Bandai web service, they are cracking down on proxy and middleman services. So basically, step one, you have to be a premium Bandai member. It's free, doesn't cost anything, but you have to be in Japan in order for that to work. So that's like step 1A, if you will. Anyway, then you have to be a certain level in Club Tamashi. That is constantly buying items that are Tamashi web exclusives on the premium Bandai website. So all of the P Bandai exclusive, Tamashi Nations, Ultra Act, Figuarts, so on and so forth, all of those, they give you points on your P Bandai account towards your Club Tamashi status. If you buy enough, then you get the luxury for the roll-out lottery status that they've been doing since the beginning of September. So that you get the first chance lottery window. If you get picked, then you can buy it and it'll release in November. Then there's a second chance lottery window. Then there's a third. Then you enter in for a chance, so this way you can enter into a lottery to pick it up at the event on site. Then, if you're a certain tier for the Club Tamashi, then you can just go and you can pick it up and purchase it on site. Then once the event is over, then you can enter into another lottery for after sale. The moral of the story is this is very confusing, and understandably so, because again, Japanese residents who have access and can go ahead and enter into these lotteries with no issues, basically, they're even a little confused. So those who are English speaking and are not really familiar with this process, it is very, very understandable how if you're only in this for like 1 or 2 years, you really don't know what's going on. And unfortunately, because of this rollout process, there are some who are picking up and sort of running with it as news that there is now a new order window and a new chance, and this is a reissue, so there's a chance that the U.S., as it stands right now, there are no plans for the heat ray, atomic blast, whatever you want to call it, -1, to be released in the United States. There unfortunately isn't. That leads some credibility to the idea that this is just going to be locked there and we're going to have to pay out the wazoo in order to pick this up. If you are in the U.S., the implication is there that I'm speaking from a U.S. citizen standpoint, because I am a U.S. citizen, and so on and so forth. Because, and this may also apply to the translucent burning Godzilla, it is well known from smaller companies who are able to talk about those things that Toho basically has a license for some companies where they're willing to do really weird, obscure, one-off event releases. Like, YMSF may do this, Marmot may do that, Marusan can do that, a whole bunch of weird exclusives that are timed to just one event for one day in one venue, one sales method, and that is what they will license out. No reissues, nothing. One shot, do not miss your... One shot. And after that, never a chance again. So, if there weren't any details worked out in that licensing agreement, we may not be getting it in the US. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and tie it in a little bow and put a cap on it. The translucent Hiya burning Godzilla. There were pictures that were shared around on social media that were edited that had noted that this is a Wonfes Shanghai exclusive. Admittedly, there were some words and verbiage and so forth in the picture that did note that sales originally would happen at Wonfes, but it was not very clear to those who even shared with me the pictures that went around on Facebook, to be explicit in that. To those people who shared with me, they were under the impression it was solely only going to be available at Wonfes Shanghai, and that was it. Doing some more research into it, this is not the case, and it appears only pre-sales will happen on the show floor at Shanghai Wonfes. There is a chance this may be available at some point later. How, where, when, why, so forth. We don't have those details. Keep an eye out. The Heat Ray SH MonsterArts Godzilla -1. That is a Tamashi Nation 2024 exclusive. Precedent has it, those are locked to that event. They do not get reissued. They do not get brought to the United States. Except I think in maybe 2 cases in like 16 years, I think it is, that they've been doing the event, and even then technically they've been other releases. So if they do bring that release over to the US in any capacity, that would set a brand new precedent, and it would be the first time ever that they've brought over a Tamashi Nation exclusive to the US. So keep that in mind. There's been no announcement of a new way to pick it up. There's been no announcement of a reissue. It's always been pre-sale. Lottery has been open to Japanese customers and citizens who are members of Club Tamashi through the Premium Bandai website. Depending on your tier, you were able to get in early. There's a rollout lottery that's available. You can pick it up on site if you're lucky, and then there's a post-event lottery that will happen. That's it, folks. Pretty short, sweet, to the point. Folks did ask me questions about these too, so I did want to bring that up. Again, sometimes information gets shared on social media. It's as easy as a share button on Facebook, and unfortunately, some folks do get confused. Realistically speaking, no harm, no foul to anyone in this situation. It's pretty easy in today's day and age to, even just get a little bit confused. And as I bump my camera, the only thing that I want to say is, again, I'm not really going to hone in on any creator and try to blast them. That really is not my style. And that's not what the point of this video is. I just want to note that sometimes information gets just a little twisted, and it's not because of the messenger. It's just sometimes how the message gets twisted by phone. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please keep on keeping on, because I got some other interesting videos for Hiya and SH MonsterArts coming soon. Thanks again. Catch ya in the next video.